us this morning. I know that you're one of President Trump's closest allies in the Senate. How do you respond to what we just heard from Congressman Lewis, that he believes President Trump is a racist?
Well, of course, I think that's ridiculous. I grew up in the South. I fully understand what that means. But the congressman and I just disagree on a couple things. First, I'm from Georgia. I've been in those schools he's talking about, and he's exactly right that regardless of race, religion, anything, those schools, those kids are doing great together. The problem is when you get to the Washington politicians, the career politicians who want to pander to their base. What we have going on here right now is a gross misrepresentation. This all started with a total misrepresentation of a meeting that happened last Thursday. And people forget that just 2 days earlier, this president, in an open meeting with media in there for almost an hour, George, debated this with both sides, Democrats, Republicans, House members, and the Senate. And what we forget is that 72% of Americans want us to solve this problem. We want to solve the DACA problem. We want to have border security with a wall. We want to end chain migration and end this archaic diversity lottery. That's the scope that we all agreed to on Tuesday. Then on Thursday, we had a meeting, and coming out of that meeting, we had a gross misrepresentation of what happened in that meeting. But it's not the first time we've had a gross misrepresentation by that individual.
Let me finish,
George. No, let me finish, George.
Well, I want to know what the gross misrepresentation was.
The gross misrepresentation was that language was used in there that was not used, and also that the tone of that meeting was not contributory and not constructive. In 2013, Senator Durbin also made the same accusation against a Republican leader in a meeting with President Obama and said that it was he chewed out the president. It was so disrespectful to President Obama, we couldn't even have the meeting. That's what he said in 2013. Later that day, the president's own press secretary came out and said, and I quote, "It did not happen." This is about a gross misrepresentation. It's not the first time. These people have been trying for 35 years to solve this immigration problem without success for one reason, and that is I don't believe they're serious about trying to solve that right now.
You just said that what Senator Durbin said, the words the president used were not used. You said that did not happen. But it's not just Senator Durbin who said that. I mean, Senator Lindsey Graham has put out a statement saying that he countered the president's words in the moment, and he told his Republican colleague from South Carolina, to Tim Scott, that the reports of that meeting were basically accurate. Those comments had been confirmed by multiple sources. You're saying it didn't happen?
Multiple sources. There were 6 of us in the room. I haven't heard any of those 6 sources other than Senator Durbin talk about what was said. Look,
well,
this
Senator
was a private
Graham
meeting with the president. This was a private meeting.
Were basically accurate.
Well, you don't have to deal with him. But basically is an operative word. The trouble here is that Senator Durbin came and brought a proposal. And let's put this in perspective.
But I want to get to the proposal. But you're saying flat out, definitively, the president did not say those words.
I'm saying that this is a gross misrepresentation. It's not the first time Senator Durbin has done it, and it is not productive to solving the problem.
So what did the president say?
Most people in America, George, want us to solve the DACA situation. Republicans and Democrats want to solve the DACA situation. But we also want to make sure that we're not back here in 5 years doing the same thing again. What we have to do is secure our borders, George. This is a serious issue. It's not just an immigration issue. It's a national security issue. The president wants a wall, and we're not talking about 2,000 miles here. We're talking about 600 miles or so. We're not talking about anything that's unreasonable or that the Democrats haven't already voted for in the past. The second thing is third thing, we've got to end chain migration. And this is where 72% of our population agrees. We need to limit it to the worker, the spouse, and the immediate family. 72%, George, almost 60% believe that we should move to a merit-based immigration system similar to what the commission did when you were in the White House in the 90s. President Clinton received a report from Barbara Jordan and a presidential commission on immigration that said they wanted to end chain migration and move more toward an immigration system based on merit and who people were, not where they were from, which is what our system is, more like Canada and Australia.
The supporters of this bipartisan deal say they do limit chain migration, that there is